to the Backstage Crew podcast, and on tonight's episode, we talking about WWE Monday Night Raw, May 1st, 2023. And it's in Fort Worth, Texas. And it's the first night of the draft. Show what you think about the show tonight.
That show was pretty good, man. A lot happened tonight. And we had right out the gate, we had the draft round number 1.
And that was Raw Women's SmackDown Women's Champion Rhea Ripley going to Raw. Then we had United States Champion Austin Theory going to SmackDown. Then we had Seth freaking Rollins going to Raw. Then we had Charlotte Flair going to SmackDown. And it was announced as Brock Lesnar as a free agent by Triple H.
Yeah, then we had Liv and Raquel versus Bayley and Dakota Kai. Man, that's a pretty good match, man. Both women, all the women putting in their work, man. Dakota Kai and Bayley, Damage Control taking a win there. I didn't expect that one. After Liv and Raquel been going strong for quite a while and working good as a tag team.
You know.
And after that, we had draft round number 2.
Then for the second round, we had the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens going to Raw. Then we had the Usos going to SmackDown. Then we had Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Dominic Mysterio, the whole Judgment Day going to Raw. Then we had Rey Mysterio, Escobar, Cro de Toro, and Quinn Wow and Zelina Vega, the whole LWO going to SmackDown.
Then we saw Strowman and Ricochet versus the Academy. Another good match, man. What'd you think about that one?
Good match. With Strowman and Ricochet winning against the Academy.
Yeah, man, it's kind of same old Ricochet Strowman thing, but I don't got to say no more about that. Then we had the draft about to happen, man, but Brock Lesnar came out and interrupted that. Security, Adam Pearce called out security like, man, we ain't doing this right now. Beat up security, and then Cody Rhodes came out, got a good lick on him. Brock was like, all right, and then went to the back. But then right after that, we had round number 3 of the draft,
which was WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez going to Raw. Then we had Asuka going to SmackDown. Then we had Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, a.k.a. The New Day, going to Raw. Then we had Sheamus Butch and Ridge Holland going to SmackDown, which was the Brawling Broods.
And then immediately we came back from commercial. We had draft round number 4,
which was Trish Stratus going to Raw. We had Karrion Kross and Scarlett going to SmackDown. Then we had the almighty Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler going to Raw. And then we had the LA Knight, going to SmackDown.
Then we had Miz TV with Shinsuke Nakamura, where Miz was pretty much just provoking him, and caught a beat down from Shinsuke. So that was that. And then we had draft round number 5,
which was Braun, Strowman, and Ricochet going to Raw. Then we had Shotzi going to SmackDown. Bronson Reed going to Raw, and we had Pretty Deadly going to SmackDown.
Then we saw pretty much a squash match, man, where Omos just squashed Anthony Alanis. Man, just ended him quick. But nothing to that match right there. And then we saw Riddle versus Jimmy Uso. And pretty good match, man. Riddle taking the win on that one. I didn't expect that. I thought Jimmy had him, man. Riddle pulling it, man, getting a win. Then we had a promo where it was backstage and Paul solo with Jimmy, and man, he was questioning Solo why he wasn't out there, man. Then we had the LWO versus the Judgment Day. Man, what you think about that one?
Beastie match.
Man, for sure. LWO versus Judgment Day, man, that was a good match. We got to see right there. And Judgment Day picking up the win, staying strong, man. Good match on everybody's part, man. Following that, we had draft round number 6,
which was Otis and Chad Gable, which is the Alpha Academy, going to Raw. Then we had Rick Boogs going to SmackDown. Then we had Katana and Chance and Kaden Carter going to Raw. Then we had Cameron Grimes going to SmackDown.
And then after that, we had Seth Rollins versus Solo. Man, that was a good match to begin with, but it ended up in a DQ where the Usos came out and everybody started brawling because you know who else came out?
Yeah.
Sami, everybody, man. It just ended in a brawl.
Yeah. Solo Sikoa, man. That was a good match with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins finna end him, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always a good match, man. Solo been putting in some real good work, looking real good out there.
Yeah, it might be Seth Rollins' era again.
After that, man, this was after the show when Raw went off the air, man. We had WWE Raw Talk where they had more draft selections. Man, we saw for Raw, they picked Tozawa, Humberto, Garza, Brooke, Emma, Sheer, Gargano, Nikki Cross, Odyssey Jones, Piper Nevin, Riddick Moss, Tegan Knox, and Zia Lee.
And then for SmackDown, we had Grayson Waller and Tamina. And then for the free agents, which we all know was Brock Lesnar. But then we had also Brian Corbin, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander, along with Elias and his boy. And so Ezekiel and Elias are both free agents. And then we got Zion Quinn, all free agents. So we'll see where they go and what they lead into and what storyline they pop into. But with that being said, this is the Backstage Crew Podcast.
Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Patreon, Twitch. We on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Podcasts.
You can also check us out on www.backstagecrew.com. And Shay Show, where you get your Finn Balor t-shirt from?
WWEshop.com.
Okay, well with that being said, till next time.